What's the only way to lose a game? Never shoot at all. The only way to lose, truly lose, at this game of entrepreneurship, of intrapreneurship, of becoming the best employee there is, whatever the case, whatever that looks like in your life, is not taking shots. What's holding you back? What's up, guys? Welcome to the Return on Investment MF channel. It's your host, Zack, ROI Williams. And this is the information your haters don't want you to hear about. Becoming the most badass version of yourself in business. What's going on, everybody? It's Zack, ROI Williams, back with another episode of Return on Investment MF channel. Today we're gonna hit some hearts pretty heavy today. Today we're gonna be speaking about getting comfortable with losing. Now, I know typically I'm very motivating, I'm very inspiring. At least that's the message I'm trying to portray. And today we're going to be talking about loss and losing quite a bit because I think it's very, very important and a pertinent part of growing, right? I say this all the time, and y'all hear me on my channel alone saying that it's not necessarily what I've done right in my life that has gotten me to where I am and what is my most valuable information, but more so what I've done wrong or what I've done incorrectly that has helped position me with where I am today. And honestly, I do believe is the most valuable information that I could give to you guys. What I specifically want to speak about today is getting comfortable and confident in speaking about it yourself as well. You know, it's easy to get caught up, right, in social media. What is social media for most people? It's their highlight reel. You get used to seeing all the nice, fancy stuff, right? People are going out and flexing on Instagram, right? You just don't understand that that's a rented car, or they bought that on a credit card and they're in debt up to their eyeballs. There's so much that goes into it that typically the facade of this perfect life covers. And for some people, not everybody, but for some people, that's okay living their life like that. But for us, the majority of high performers, we're not cool with that. We don't want to flex shit that ain't ours. We don't want to talk about stuff that we have no business speaking about. We want to make sure that every opportunity we get, we are being 100% transparent and authentic. Now, part of that transparency and a part of that authenticity is talking about the shit that sucks sometimes, okay? One of my buddy, Jacob Stoller, someone that I look up to very significantly and has amassed a massive fortune and success for himself and his family, was actually talking about that on social media today, talking about the ups and downs, which obviously led for me to go in there and speak my mind and leave a comment just in support of him and his thoughts, but kind of voicing my opinion and realistically just reiterating to the world and to his audience that sometimes losing is, well, not sometimes, all the times losing is inevitable. It's what we take from that actually makes it a win. So, you know, if you look on my social media, yes, you're going to see a lot of the highlight reel. I'm very open and honest about the life that I'm living and where it's headed and what's gotten me to where I am today. But you'll also see some of the downfalls. You'll see me speak on it and see that there is a message inside of that failure or that lack of success, if you will. Because in my opinion, are we going to hit 100% of the shots that we take? Fuck no. Absolutely not. Look at some of the best in the world to ever do it. A majority of them miss more often than they actually succeed. With that mindset, they were the ones that went in there and owned it, knowing that it's cool to go into a stadium, to go onto a court and be willing, be strong enough, be bold enough to miss more times than they actually make it, and know that they are doing good, knowing that they are moving the needle, knowing that they are adding stats to that scoreboard collectively over time. Some of us that watch these professional athletes probably are equally as good at some of that, but that fear and that thought process of going out there and missing more often than not is going to hold you. Those self-limiting doubts are going to keep you at home. And guess who those people are? They're the ones sitting on the couch watching those people saying, man, I wish. They could have it in them all along. So could you. Just like everyone that you see, all of your mentors, everyone that you look up to, all of the people that you think are successful have fucked up, have failed. And more times than not, they failed more times than they succeeded. But they're the ones in that stadium. They're the ones on that court saying, you know what? I might miss 50% of the shots that I take. But the 50 of the shots that I make out of the 50 shots that I take are the reason I'm a multimillionaire, are the reason that my empire is as large as it is, the reason that I am creating generational wealth. That is the thought process behind the people that you look up to, those mentors, your mentors, the people that you think successful, the people you look up to, the people that you aspire to be like. So we've got to look at framing that in a different way of saying, you know what? It's not a bad thing. I may fail. I get to fail. Every time I fail at something, I'm one step closer to finding what succeeds. Because guess what? There's going to be 1,000 different ways to fail at something and only one way to succeed. And you're not going to find that way by not taking your shot at all. So, I want you to get comfortable with it. I want this message to be out there to say that, hey, it's okay to lose. And in order to be successful, you've got to get comfortable with losing. But I also want you to be comfortable about talking about it, expressing yourself on what you learned from that quote-unquote failure that is now giving you that stepping stone to get a solid foundation of saying, all right, my back's against the corner, but I at least know what not to do. I know that I can't go any further back because I've learned this lesson. So now it's time to find that next solid step. And guess what? You might fuck up the next chance you get. But guess what? Now you know where you stand. You know where not to go. So then you can start exploring other options, finding other paths around the obstacle that you're at, over or through it. Okay? So listen, it's hard for me to speak on some of this sometimes because I feel like, there's a lot of people out there who may or may not see behind the curtain of what my social media portrays. I do my best to speak about the failures, especially the detrimental ones that I've learned. But the truth is, it'd be a full-time job to talk about all the failures I make on a day-to-day basis. I fuck up all day, every day. You know what? But I keep pushing and I keep pressing forward until I find that success, till I find that piece of the puzzle that fits, till I keep going, till I make it fucking work. Okay? It'd be really, really short a life lived if I just went out there, made one attempt, I failed and I gave up. I called it a day. I'd be out of a job. I'd be homeless. My wife would leave me. I wouldn't be able to see my daughter. I wouldn't be able to afford to see my daughter. I wouldn't be able to do anything. I wouldn't have the funds to live the lifestyle that I live. My vehicles would get repossessed. I literally would lose everything if I sat in fear of failure. Shit, half the time, you might be watching this and still be stuck in corporate America, thinking that's the safe route to take. For many, it is, unfortunately. Now, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with, working in corporate America or being an entrepreneur, anything of that sort. But what I am saying is, guess what? You probably fuck up a lot working at that job too, don't you? It's no different on this side of the fucking game. Being a business owner, being an entrepreneur, you're gonna fuck up. But it's how you handle those fuck ups, and it's what you do to learn from it and move forward and move past it. And ultimately, especially if you watch literally the last episode, my hopes for you is that you're going to give that information out into the world. The better we are individually, the better we are collectively. That's something that I firmly believe in and preach about a lot. But we will never get better collectively. We'll never get better individually if we don't learn to become comfortable with those mistakes. if we don't learn to be comfortable with those failures, if we don't get comfortable with knowing that if we might shoot our shot and there's a 50% chance that it doesn't go in, there might be a 50% chance that it does go in too. So if you keep taking shots, you're going to eventually win. What's the only way to lose a game? Never shoot at all, right? The only way to lose, truly lose, at this game of entrepreneurship, of intrapreneurship, of becoming the best employee there is, whatever the case, whatever that looks like in your life, is not taking shots. So if we know that, if we know that we at least have to take a chance, what's holding you back? Where is that fear coming from? Are you in fear of losing? You got to get comfortable with losing. Losing's a part of your day-to-day life. Losing's a part of every foundation that anything that you see as success is built on. I promise you, there's one thing that you can take from this. It's that no matter how you view me, have failed more times than I've succeeded. But just like what I was saying on my buddy Jacob's post earlier today, is being successful is understanding that you have to take the wins with the losses and create a currency there that is your midline, to understand that with every high you get, you're going to receive a low. And with every low that you get, you're going to receive a high. Now, this might look in the way of 3 steps forward and 1 step back. 3 steps forward again and 1 step back again. And then another 3 steps forward and another 1 step back. So what does that look like when you pull yourself out of the shit and pay attention to where you are versus where you've come from and where you're going to go? You're going to see that you're progressing. We call that success. So if you sit there and look at the low right now, while you're in the low, it's easy to get caught up in that moment. It's easy to feel sorry for yourself. It's easy to wonder if there's a way out. Versus if you get comfortable with losing, you understand there's only one way to go out of that, and that's up. Not only that, while you're in that low, if you can sit back and appreciate all the successes that you've gained to get there, pull yourself back and look at where you've come from, you'll realize, yeah, you might be down right now, but you're so far up from where you came. There really is levels to this shit. I talk about it all the time. Those levels are all based on where your mind takes you when you experience these highs and lows. You can't have the highs without the lows. You know that. So while you're up there on that seller's high, you just closed the deal, you just made payroll, whatever it is that you're experiencing, it's a great feeling. But you got to understand, you earned your fucking stripes to get there. Those fucking losses that you experience, that's what prepared you for that high. Those losses earned you the right to be able to stand up there and say, we fucking did it, team. We fucking made it. We put in the fucking reps when no one else would. We withstood the fucking damage when no one else would. We did the hard shit first when no one else would. And that is why we are where we are today. Likewise, when you're in the fucking pit of despair, wondering how you're going to make it out, wondering what you did to deserve this, when you look back and see all those fucking wins it took to get there, realizing that you had to literally earn the right to fucking be down right now, and where you're at currently while you're quote unquote down 6 months ago, a year ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you would have given anything to be in the position that you are right fucking then and right fucking there. You would have literally given anything to be down right now. You've got to shift your mindset. You have to understand that with every height comes a low, with every win comes a loss, and everything that you do is setting yourself up for success in the future and is giving you a solid foundation to stand on to take your next step. You have to understand that, otherwise you will literally go crazy. It's not fucking easy. I'll be the first to admit, sometimes I let that shit fucking get to me. But I'm always working on becoming better and understanding that this is a part of the plan. This is a part of the process. And if I keep earning my stripes, I will reap the rewards and the benefits of putting in the fucking work right fucking now. And it all starts up here in your fucking mind. So what are you doing right now to understand that this shit is serious, that this shit is necessary, and that this shit is not going anywhere? You've got to get comfortable with losing. Are you? If you're not comfortable with losing, what can you do to move forward right now after watching this video to understand that in our life, you're going to lose again. You're probably going to lose again this year. Probably going to lose again this month. Probably going to lose again this week. You're probably going to lose again today. But likewise, if you keep pushing forward through that loss to find the success in that failure, guess what? You're probably going to win today. You're probably going to win the week. You're probably going to win the month. You're probably going to win the fucking year. So what can you do today to shift that mindset and get comfortable with fucking losing? Thank you guys so much. My name is Zack Williams. I hope you got something out of this. If you did, give it a share. I'll talk to you soon. Peace. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching that video. If you got anything out of that, check out these dope videos over here. They're going to be extremely similar, and let's try and help get you to that next level.